So that's me. I'm done. Nothing else to say here, apart from thanks for listening. Never end your presentation like this. The end is the most important part. It's what people will remember, because what is said last lasts with your audience. Now, my name's Kyle Murtagh. I'm a public speaking coach, champion, and author, and today I'm going to give you 3 different ways you can end your presentation in compelling fashion. Subscribe to the channel if you want to improve your presentation skills, because every week we've got new videos coming out on this topic. But now, let's get into how you can end your speech. The first technique is to end with your key point. And a speaker who used this technique incredibly well was Terry Trespicio in her viral TEDx talk. Her talk was all about not following your passion, and this is how she ended.
To live a life full of meaning and value, you don't follow your passion. Your passion follows you. Thank you.
So the beauty of this technique is it reminds the audience exactly what you want them to remember, what you want them to leave the talk with. So when preparing your presentation, think about what your key message is and see how you can bring that in to the very end of your presentation so that you end on that emphatic point. Now, the second technique is what speakers like to call the loop. And the loop involves ending in the same way that you started your presentation. For example, if you start with a quote, you end with that quote. If you start with a fact, you end with that fact. If you start with a story, you end with the conclusion of that story. And a speaker who started and ended with a story very well is the world champion of public speaking in 2012, Ryan Avery. Here is his opening.
I'm at the altar, sweating in my wool suit. She is glowing in her white dress. Asks me the most important question of my life. Ryan, do you promise me?
And no, before you ask, Ryan's not my brother, but he poses an opening with a story. He talks about being at the altar and being asked that question. Ryan, do you promise me? But he doesn't give us the conclusion of the story. That comes in his ending.
I am at the altar, sweating in my wool suit, and Chelsea is glowing in her white dress. Chelsea, I promise.
And there we have it, the conclusion. He does promise. So that was a nice loop from the start to the end of his presentation. He concluded that story with his final remarks. And you could potentially use this technique too. It doesn't have to be a story. Again, it could be a fact, a quote. It could be a form of audience interaction that you use at the start. And then you do the same thing at the end. But creating that loop looks very professional when you deliver it in a presentation, and also creates a good connection and structure for you to use as you go through your talk as well. Now, the final technique is a powerful one. I call this one the summit. This is where you use your body language and your voice and your words to motivate your audience to take action at the end of your presentation, almost bringing them up to the summit, if you will. And a speaker who is famous for doing this is Les Brown. Here's an example of one of his summits.
I say, as you look into the future, while other people are giving up, feeling like victims, feeling powerless, becoming negative, turning on each other rather than to each other, feeling that they can't make it, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind with the mindset of that it's possible. that we can save this generation. It's possible that we can create new industries, a new economy. It's possible that I can find a new profession, a new job. It's possible I can create a new life. And it's necessary that I become actively involved in becoming a positive force in my life and on the planet. And it's me, yes, it's you, it's all of us, pulling together, working together to create this brand new future. And it's going to be hard. Easy is not an option. But if it's hard, we will do it hard. Whatever is required to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And it's worth it, yes. It's worth whatever we have to do. And once we know that, it is done. It is done. It is done. It is done.
So after hearing that, you feel pretty pumped up. You want to just run through a wall or something, don't you? Or maybe that's just me. But why does that happen? Well, it's because of Les's delivery. He, has a loud voice. He speaks at pace. His body language is animated. And as I'm doing right now, all of those things lift the energy of the room and leave your audience on a summit. So if you're doing a presentation where you want to motivate or inspire someone to take some form of positive action in their life, this could be the ending for you. Now, ending your presentation in a compelling way is extremely important. But if you want to have people even listening by the time you get to the end of your presentation, you need to start in a compelling way as well. Here's a video with 3 different ways to open a presentation effectively. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and I wish you the very best for your next presentation.